take your seat. We're starting in a minute. Oh, sorry, we are starting now actually. Okay, we have quorum, so we can start. Next point that is going to be discussed is technical work.
Right, parliamentarian. We are having people discuss between the associations. Can we please sit down as well? We need to start with a roll call.
Austria, Snap, Sweden, delegated to Austria, EPSA, Belgium, CPSA, Croatia, SUPSA, Cyprus, USA, Czech Republic, SOP, Denmark, ANEP, France, BPHD, Germany, UPSA, Hungary, SAD, Lithuania, KPSA, Netherlands, BPSA, North Macedonia, BPSA, Poland, Upper Portugal, PASFA, Romania, NAPSA, Serbia, SUPSA, Slovakia, SUPSA, Slovenia, FEF, Spain, ASEP, Switzerland, UPSA, International Turkey, BPSA, United Kingdom. Raise your voting rights high. Voting members present.
As understanding orders.
Parliamentarian, so we are having problems to print the motion sheet. What will happen is Mina, I think she already uploaded to the GA package, to the folder order, the motion sheet in the Word document, so you will write there the motion and we will send to the PC. If you don't have the digital signature, you can just write the name, but you need to write the name of the LSA or DOD that will be signing the motion. It's clear for everyone? Please, I need more emotion cards to know if it is clear or not. Okay, thank you.
To argue point?
I would ask for silence and to close the door because we are in the General Assembly and this is not the environment to have this kind of discussions. So please close the door. I will ask to one. The door needs to be closed. Okay. Here I would like to explain the General Assembly what happened, for example, on the last session. If you wanted to close the discussion that we are having on the big topic, for example, Matthias with a 9.3, he closed all the discussion itself. If you want to close the discussion only for that topic, he needed to have the 9.16. That is the question should not be put in. This is used for the small discussions that we are having on the big ones. It's understandable for everyone. So on the next time, please, if you want to do this, use the 9.16. The question should not be put. It's for the small discussions. Thank you.
I hope your point.
Is it somehow possible for Nisha to still get the questions now?
Eva, point of information.
Eva, IPP, yes, there are other procedural motions which you can call out to reopen a discussion or to rediscuss. Well, there is no motion now, but you can reopen a discussion.
Okay, we shall be proceeding. Clarification acum.
Then I have a question, how?
Mihai, point of information.
Mihai, President, yes, we have the 9.44 reconsider a motion, yeah, I will just read it. A motion to reconsider a motion may not be proposed by anyone who was not present for the original discussion, debate but not amendable. If a motion to reconsider is passed, the original motion shall be redebated and revoted upon. So what will happen is, yeah, you will basically rediscuss the 9.3, and if this passes, it means that the 9.3 then will be dropped and you will continue the discussion.
Formal second questions to do. I have the floor for discussion. Anya?
Madame in France. So basically now we're discussing the closing of the closing of the discussions. And can we, like, if we have a solution for the discussion, can we propose it in this discussion? No. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? I see none. I close the floor for discussion. Anyone against? Any abstentions? Motion carried unanimously. So now we are technical, Paulina.
Paulina, we have external. I'm sorry for being late for the GA, but we were discussing with partners. Sorry.
You are technical?
Yeah, President, yeah, now we'll take again the point of Neja. I will try to get Neja and see where she is so we can get, yes.
We don't need to be right now, we can proceed and then.
So we can proceed with the rest of the agenda, and when Neja will be here, we can continue the discussion on her report.
Next, we shall be discussing the updates from Mari, chairperson of the 16th EPSA Autonomous Assembly. Mari, you can start presenting your updates.
Martin, AA16 chairperson. So, since I delivered my report, the event happened. We had 3 cancellations, which were done on time, so we managed to cancel their accommodation, food in a hotel, meaning that no additional cost will occur that way. We had 1 major cancellation in terms of speakers, so Professor Fraga wasn't able to join us. That information we accepted really difficultly, but what we can do. The alumni weekend started yesterday. We had 8 alumni, just as written in the report. No other funds or sponsorship came in the meantime. Everything was as dealt with the hotel. During the event, we are having some minor problems, which we are solving case by case. I would say normal thing for events, and I'm just hoping that you're enjoying it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to your questions. Yeah. And please, for anything that you want, you need, tell us, ask us. We don't care about post-Congress service because it's post-Congress. Tell us now, because we can react immediately. We cannot react after the Congress. So yeah, looking forward to your questions, critics, everything. Don't hesitate to criticize us.
Point of information about.
Eva, IPP, at this point, actually right now, it's just for your report. When is your discharge time, that's when they can comment on the event. Right now, it's just about your report.
Thank you, Mari. We shall move on with the questions from the spreadsheet. First, I have a question from Shisu. Given the fact that you have secured such a big amount of money, have you considered the fact to offer participants parking for free? Martin, speaking the rules, please. Martin.
Yeah, I mean, how are you paying for that? You will pay for that at the end, right? Did they tell you that at the reception? They did. Yeah.
It's Shizufida Slovenia. Yes, so I have already asked this question to Anna. So the point is that in her report, her previous report, it is written that the parking costs will be €3 per day. But now I have been receiving feedback from the Slovenian delegation that that they got the info at the reception that the parking is for free. So yeah.
Martin, direct.
Yeah, that means that the unofficial information became official. In the meantime, we didn't know that it became official, so yeah, we set free parking for all.
Any more questions or comments on this? I see none. Moving on. Next, I have a question from Anel. Unfortunately, there were some issues with our bank which charged us €6.75 for every international transaction that came from SEPA country, which was a transfer cost we haven't predicted. Not all the participants got these charges of fee. For example, both OTs of Anne France, while the transfer was made the same way by our treasurer, only one about that charge. Would you maybe know where this comes from? Mari? Clarification, Maeva?
Maybe Anne France, well, yeah, at the time that I made the question, I mean, now that we got to the Congress, then we saw that everyone was supposed to pay those €7 in addition, but as we thought first that only the people that got the emails were charged, that is why I asked it initially, because I got the email, but he didn't, so this is why we thought there was not everyone that got that, so.
Mike?
Before everything, I'm really sorry because of this situation. What is the nature of that? I'm still really not aware. I'm not an expert in banking. None of us is an expert in banking system in Croatia. And yes, somehow this happened specifically from SEPA countries, the countries in which you will actually expect not to have any additional fees. Again, it came like a really unfortunate surprise for us, and it caused us €2,000 gap in the budget, which was not appropriate for us. So yeah, it was obvious that we needed to take that route. And regarding emails, we were careful that really emails were sent to everyone, but we have seen that there are problems with the number systems. So some emails were sent, but eventually we were informed that some participants didn't get it due to technical difficulties between our domains, between our domains and yours, especially if we were using Hotmails and so on. So yeah, I'm sorry for that inconvenience, but I'm hoping that it wasn't a big financial burden.
Okay, any more questions or comments on this? I see none. Moving on with the next one. Now I have a question from MPSA. Does the issue with the bank solely apply to participants whom transaction fees were set on shared/beneficially, or does the issue apply to all the participants of the Congress? Drop. Next. Pass it back. How many non-pharmaceutical students/graduates are going to attend the AA? Money?
So first of all, we need to know that we as EPSA, we are gathering recent graduates as well. So these graduates, you mean non-pharmaceutical graduates? 0. So we had the registrations form for them, but no one applied.
Any more questions or comments? I see none. Moving on. Next, I have a question from Opel. When elaborating the logistics plan for the event, did you consider the environmental impact that the event would cause and which measures were told to be implemented? Money?
Yeah, we were considering some what we can do, and our conclusion was that we cannot do much. I mean, I don't know what we do possibly. You didn't get that much water bottles as usual, so that can be one way of saving the environment around us. The educational book, we created only 25 educational booklets, so yes for us. And what else? I think that we are behaving like environmental.
Thank you, Mario. I would ask you to speak a bit faster, so we can move on faster. Point of information, Eva.
Eva, IPP, yeah, this was discussed with the RC during the pre-visit, and there's a point in the pre-visit report that specifically lists what they did to achieve this.
Any more questions or comments on this? I see none. Moving on. And these were all the questions from the spreadsheet. Does anyone have any more questions for Mario? Sorry.
You just said 8 alumni are coming, and they specifically stated it was 7 because one broke out.
Directiva. Point of information, Eva.
Eva, IPP, yeah, one of them dropped out 2 or 3 days ago, that's why he didn't know before.
Okay, any more questions or comments on this? Or any other questions from the room? I see none. Thank you, Mari. New point to Bernardo.
Bernardo BPA, and thank you very much, Marin, for the collaboration that we've been having. Hey, how are you? You've been doing an awesome job, and we can see how much the RC respects you, and the EPSA team does the same because you're doing great.
Conrad, new point.
Conrad, treasure. Marin, thank you for the collaboration and the help with the auction and Mercedes. Thank you.
Any more questions or comments? I see none, so we shall move on with Neja. Technical IPSA.
As I say, in Turkey it's really cold here. Can we turn off the air conditioner?
Okay. Since 9.3 was defeated, now we shall continue with the questions from the spreadsheet for measure. So, first I have a question for BPSO. How are the negotiations with the European Youth Foundation? And is it feasible to get this funding to organize it in TNT when you have to apply at least 1 year upfront? Are there alternatives? Neja?
Neja, brand coordinator. I'm not sure what you mean by negotiations, but if we decide to go for it, we just have to write the application and submit it until the deadline. And I think it is feasible because EPSA already successfully applied for it in 2015, like the same grant, the TNT. And I think we know that it's suitable for this project. Yes, also I think, for example, if you want to host the TNT in December 2020, it's early enough to apply for hosting in February, for example, so then we can finalize the application for grant until the 1st of April, which is the deadline to submit it. And I mean, it's 10 months, it's not really a whole year, but I think that once it is established, if it is established, it's going to be easier also for the next TNTs, because they'll know that there is a big chance that they will get this grant.
Yeah, technical. Yeah, President, is it okay to just turn off the AC and not to modify the temperature? Okay. Any questions or comments on this? I see now moving on with the next question. I have a comment from Pastor. Congratulations on the work done so far. We feel like you are doing a very consistent job and most certain results will be favorable. Next, I have a question from Asep. If you list the AA and AC in the application for Erasmus Plus grant, does a proportion of the money go to the RCs of its events? Neja?
Neja, grant coordinator. No, because we are applying for an operational grant, which means that it doesn't support specific projects of the organization. So it just covers the costs, like the operational costs of EPSA, like statutory meetings, and the money goes to EPSA team fund and grant fund. So, but we have to, like in the application, we have to list all of our projects and what we are doing, in order for the agency to like know what they are supporting, the organization, and yes, to know what is the purpose of these statutory meetings.
I see now. Direct Anel?
Joël Anel France. I know that it does operate a role that is important to it, that you can give the interview to one of the net and statutory links. It's maybe interesting to consider the possibility to use to help in it. Some part of the meeting.
Mihai Direct? Sorry. Sid, do you have a Direct? Sid Direct?
Sid Alumnus, as previous international grant coordinator for AME France, I'm a little bit aware of all what our different fees are, etc. And I'm just wondering, since the LSs and the OGs are signing the attendance sheet for this operational grant, for sure, like I know that the Erasmus Plus grant agency take with like a quota of money for each person which is attending the event. So like having more people, like having more funds, etc. Or how is it? Why do they have to sign this attendance sheet? Thank you.
Point of information, Dylan.
Dylan Vasquez from European Universe. So as Neja said, this grant is operational grant, which means that we when we apply, have to prove like all the activities that we do. We have to showcase how many people we intend to get active in our activity and how many we actually achieve at the end. The grant itself does not, like the money we get does not differ on the amount of the participants reached. It just means on the, like it's just focused on the objectives of EPSA and yeah. Was there something else that I didn't cover?
Mihai Direct.
Mr. President, the attendance sheets and also the minutes of these meetings are the proofs for us to the grant agency to show that those statutory meetings happened. Also, those are the proofs. And in regards to the comment before, unfortunately, it is not possible to direct any funds from the Erasmus Plus grant because we have a contract with the grant agency, and by doing that, we will break the contract, and we do not want to get in any problems with the grant as they feedback in us in the past. They are very pleased with our work on that, and yeah, I can, for example, they said that they are really pleased that we are always very much in advance before the deadline with the application, so they want to collaborate further with us. It's not just funds, it's a really, like the contract and everything, it's a real collaboration between EPSA and the Erasmus Plus agency.
Any more questions or comments on this? I see none. Moving on with the next question. We have no more questions from the spreadsheet, so does anyone in the room has any questions from Cornelia? Apo?
When you have a Oscar, we just wanted to apologize to you to cutting you off. It was not our intention.
Anyone questions or comments? I see none, so we can move on to the Next, we're going to vote the reports of the coordinators. Technical measure.
Coordinator. I'm sorry, I gave you the list before, but there was one paper missing. So the last 2 pages of associations, I will just give it to you again. Sorry about this.
Okay. The 58th EPSA General Assembly accept the following coordinator Autumn Assembly report 2019-2020. Event coordinator, alumni coordinator, chairperson of the 16th EPSA Autumn Assembly, educational affairs coordinator, public health and social services coordinator, science coordinator, training coordinator, design coordinator, information technology coordinator, publications coordinator, social media coordinator, mobility coordinator, central IT coordinator, professional affairs coordinator, grant coordinator, and policy affairs coordinator. I open the floor for discussions.
Seconded.
9.50 proposed by INF, seconded by
UPSA. Not 2P.
I'm passing the presentation to
Okay, now Annette needs to say what do you want to separate on this motion, and I will give the floor to Annette. A micro, please.
So, Jean, in France, we want just to separate the ground coordinator report.
Okay, now I open the floor for discussion.
Nate, SSFD Slovenia, yeah, okay, so SSFD is against this because as Mihai said, I mean, the ONEP is represented in you are represented in EPSA as ONEP, and so like the ONEP appointed the RC, so yeah, I really just, we can't see the point of this. Thank you.
Technical.
Mihai, President, yeah, I understand what you want to discuss now, but I will ask you to keep the discussions for the motion itself for separating. It's a fine line between discussing the motion and discussing the procedural motion of separating and discussing the report itself. You know, right now we are discussing if you and I hope you have made my message clear.
Okay, I have direct from Annette. No. Are you comfortable to vote on the procedural motion? It's just to separate the report of the grant coordinator. It's not to approve or so anyone against? Okay, I will repeat the voting procedure, please. Okay, first I want to be silent. We are now voting on the procedural motion to separate the grant report. It's only on that. Separate, it's not to approve the report, it's not to, it's just to do 2 motions on this one. One with all the reports and the other one with the grant coordinator report only. SSFD?
Nate, SSFD Slovenia, so I would just like to ask the PC to say what would mean if you vote against and what would mean if you vote for.
Okay, thank you. If you approve this, we will vote in 2 motions. The first one will have all the reports, and the second, all the reports without the grant coordinator report, and you will have another motion only to vote on the grant coordinator report. It's clear? If this motion is not approved, we will have to vote on this motion like this, with all the reports from all the coordinators. Do you want me to repeat? Okay. So now, when you are voting, please be fast and raise your hand high because we need to count and sometimes can be tricky. So, anyone against the separation of the motion? Okay, any abstention? those for? Okay, we had 13 against and 10 for, so the motion was not, the procedural motion was not carried. We will vote on this motion like it is right now. Okay, I have a 9.4 from KNDSB and seconded by Annette France. KNDSB.
From KNPC, I would like to ask you to reconsider this because if we do not separate it, we have to discuss this, and it might turn out that we have to not approve all of the reports. So we have to separate it.
Okay. Any comments on this? I will go to the procedural vote. Anyone against? No, we are voting right now. Okay. Well, I will clarify everyone what are you discussing. The 9.4 has happened. If we accept the 9.4, we will open the discussion on the 9.15 again. On the separation. Okay? So the 9.4, if it is approved, we will discuss again the separation. It's clear? Okay. I open the procedural vote on the 9.4. Anyone against? Okay, any abstention? All those for? Okay, 14 for, 15 for, 7 against and 1 abstention. The motion was carried. So now we will proceed to the discussion again of the 9.15, and it's the separation of the motion. To have the grant coordinator, a motion only for the grants coordinator report. I have Annette.
Annette France, the reason why we want to have that report separated is because we don't feel comfortable with what is stated in it right now, and even if we heard all the explanation that the executive did, we think that it's also important to take into consideration the specificities of some countries. So for some of us, what is stated will not be true because it is separate entities. Thank you.
Any more comments or questions on this? So I close the floor for discussion, and we are now voting on the 9.15. If it is approved, the grant coordinator will be voted separately, and if it is not approved, we will vote on all the reports together. It's clear? I need emotion cards, please. Okay, so now we are voting on the 9.15. You, so please. Okay. Anyone against the 9.15? Okay, any abstention? You, sir, please. Any abstention? All those for? Okay, 16 for, 7 against, the motion was carried. So now we will proceed with the separation. We'll first vote for all the coordinators, and then we vote without the grant coordinator. I would like to remind you, when we are in the voting procedure, you need to be silenced and with attention on that, because it will be. So I will read the first motion. The 58th EPSA General Assembly accepts the following coordinators out of Assembly Report 2019-2020. Events Coordinator, Alumni Coordinator, Chairperson of the 16th EPSA Autumn Assembly, Educational Affairs Coordinator, Public Health and Social Service Coordinator, Science Coordinator, Training Coordinator, Design Coordinator, IT Information Technology Coordinator, Publications coordinator, social media coordinator, mobility coordinator, central INT coordinator, professional affairs coordinator, and policy affairs coordinator. I open the floor for discussion. Do I have comments? I close for the discussion. Okay, I will read the motion again. The 58th EPSA General Assembly accepts the following coordinators of the Assembly reports 2019-2020 events coordinator, LMB coordinator, chairperson of the 16th EPSA Autumn Assembly, Educational Subject Coordinator, Public Health and Social Service Coordinator, Science Coordinator, Training Coordinator, Design Coordinator, Information Technology Coordinator, Publications Coordinator, Social Media Coordinator, Mobility Coordinator, Central INT Coordinator, Professional Affairs Coordinator, Policy Affairs Coordinator. Anyone against? Any abstention? The motion was carried unanimously. So now we will proceed to the motion with only the grant coordinator. Just a second. Okay, the 58th EPSA General Assembly accepts the following coordinator, Autumn Assembly Report 2019-2020 grant coordinator. Now I open the floor for discussion. I have Annette first, and then we have Kian PSV.
Maybe Annette France. So we discussed this multiple times, so you know that why we are not comfortable with this. And I would just wanted to say that for us, yeah, it might be we might be picky, but this is a specificity in our association, and we feel that it is important that it's taken into account. And this is also why we approached this situation even before the GA, to avoid all those discussions, so people just know why we wanted to have this amended. So it was also, there is totally a goodwill from us towards the report, but we feel the need to express the opinion of our association and our board. Thank you.
KNPSV?
Wrong, KNPSV in the Netherlands, so we actually have the same system as ANF, and this is just a very small technicality. There's really not a problem with the report, it's really not the grant coordinator's fault, but we need it to be just truly stated in the report, because the RC is an independent foundation and not part of KNPSV or ANF, so we can just get it over with and change it.
I have a very big direct Mihai.
Yeah, Hi President. I really we do not understand exactly how the RC is an internal part of the organization, as the association is the one that's appointing the RC. The RC itself does not exist registered as an association itself. It's part of the member that are proposing them. It's part of their team and part of the EPSA team also. So in the end, the RC cannot. That's the
Maybe Annette France, what is said is that we approached you as soon as we got there, especially regarding to that. So honestly, I'm disappointed to see that now we're discussing this over. Well, we tried to tackle this in advance, to discuss it for everyone, for it to be clear, so that it was just 2 words to change. Then the report gets voted on, and it just passes. The thing is, we are also specifying exactly what we do not approve, so that everything can just go faster and get everything done. So it's really disappointing for us not. If it was that much of a discussion, I think you should have maybe approached us more to explain more about that. Thank you.
Point of information, Emma.
IPP, because I see this going in circles again. What the executive is trying to say, that in the eyes of EPSA, the RCs are appointed by the member association, and the member association sign the contract. Yes, maybe you locally are not the same organization, but in the eyes of EPSA, in EPSA you are considered the same association.
Okay, dropped from I have SSFD.
Mates, SSFD Slovenia. So yeah, I can understand that there are some associations that are different from each other, but I think that this is your internal issue. Like in EPSA, you are represented as ANEP, and so with that being said, SSFD strongly would like to accept this report and would also like to address the General Assembly to do the same. Thank you.
KNPSV.
Okay, from KNPSV, the Netherlands. So the point is that if we do it this way, there is legal evidence of the RC being part of us, which is not what we want, because if the Optimum Assembly or something fails, we would be financially accountable. So that's why we don't want to be seen in the eyes of EPSA.
I have first behind.
President, the association are financial responsible. What the RC does, this is stated in the EPSA regulations, so I don't understand what, we don't understand exactly what the point is. Maybe you can clarify.
Clarification from KNPSV, and then I have a direct.
Yes, so it's stated in the regulations, but this is like Dutch law, and it will overrule.
Okay, I have a point of information, Emma.
So we're discussing two different things. So on the local level, that's how it is, but what we are saying is that in the eyes of EPSA, ANEP is the one that's responsible. Maybe you're not legally responsible locally, but in the eyes of EPSA you are, because if the RC does not submit the final financial report, ANEP gets the consequences and so on, and that's why Nisha wrote ANEP, not RC.
9.3. I have a 9.3 proposed by FASF, seconded by AFO. Okay, I open the floor for discussion. I close the floor for discussion and one against. Technical, Mihai.
President, I really want to address the General Assembly to pay attention to what we are voting. I see a lot of confusion. Please do not work during the General Assembly and pay attention to the General Assembly itself. I'm sorry to address this, but this is very important. We are taking actions for EPSA and for your own associations. Thank you.
Okay, I will repeat. We are discussing the 9.3 to close the floor for this motion, and we will proceed to the voting of the 9.3 to close the floor. Okay? Anyone against the 9.3? I have 2 votes against. Any abstention? All those for? (21) so the motion was carried. I will now proceed to the read of this motion. The 58th EPSA General Assembly accepts the following Coordinator Autumn Assembly Report 2019-2020 Grand Coordinator. All those against? Six votes against. Any abstention? All those for? For the motion was carried. Now I will pass the facilitation to Mihai.
Thank you. We shall move on the agenda with EPSA directions. Eva?
Eva IPP. I will just make a quick introduction and then you guys will be able to ask questions. So as you probably saw over email, I sent you a request to discuss within your associations what you think about EPSA, and then I gave you some helping questions to maybe guide you a bit more, and I received around 30 responses in the end. I apologize to GPSF, I did not add your part yet. I will do it right after AA and update the document with your responses. I just want to say that the idea behind this project was, first of all, to help the executive, help guide the executive, because at the end of the day, if the members not like the projects, we need to reevaluate them. But the second idea was also to encourage you to discuss EPSA internally within your boards. And I got feedback from some of you that you managed to have very fruitful discussions within your boards about this, and that they are now more excited about EPSA. So it's good to hear that idea came through. So I will not go through the whole document point by point because we will be here for a long time. But what I want to just to do a quick sum up. I think a lot of important feedback and ideas have been shared through this document, and I would like to thank you for that. What I would like to re-stress first is that it's crucial that the EPSA team, the EPSA member associations, and the EPSA alumni work together. All of these groups are volunteers, and we work for EPSA because we believe what EPSA stands for and not for personal gain. And we are all currently struggling with human resources, which is what you guys said as well, that on the local level it's hard for you to find students. And I think it's important to remember that everyone's only human and trying their best. Criticism for the sake of criticism will not help anyone, so it's important to work together. And some of the major outcomes I wrote are that maybe we should restructure the VMF, so it's not about attending events, but actually meeting your boards and discussing EPSA with your boards. Feel free to use your emotion cards if you agree or disagree, just to see what the situation is. Then to involve alumni more in EPSA to get more concrete feedback from them. And that maybe EPSA should get in contact with faculties and advocate for student associations more, because that was done in the past. And a lot of you said that you miss support from your faculties. And also the LS survey will be restructured, so more concrete feedback that we got now comes through it. And the idea is also to make an alumni survey in a way to also be able to collect their feedback more efficiently. And yes, then there are more specific outcomes for specific projects. I just want to end this by saying that everything EPSA does depends on many different people. So yeah, team, LSs, alumni, and so on. It's important to work together, support each other, and I really feel that the outcome of this discussion will help that. So yeah, if you have any further comments on the whole thing, feel free to share and we'll note them down.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the room? Mihai?
Mihai, President. Yes, we discussed briefly in the executive, so we would like to try to do more these kind of things in the future, not only the survey to collect your input, because as Eva said, we really think that the restructure is needed in the way EPSA does things. Yeah, the restructure will not come easy, to take some time, but we really want to do everything accordingly until the next strategic plan, because that one will look different from this one, and we try to be efficient and fruitful in all the things that we are doing.
Any more questions or comments? I see none, so we shall move on with the agenda. Next we have Diego Capitulo's 2018-2019 activity report. Eva?
Yes, Eva IBB, just to explain to everyone what this is. So basically Diogo resigned in May, and then he wrote an activity report for what he did between his 57th GA report and his resignation date. So now you will be voting on the activity report, and so the idea is to have everything that he did stored, because he was not able to write a 60-meeting report because he was not part of the team anymore at that point.
Okay. We shall proceed with the motion to vote on the report. So the motion reads as follows. The 58th EPSA General Assembly accepts the EPSA Vice President of Education 2018-2019 activity report. I have the floor for discussions. New point of vote?
Can I ask PC what would happen if it's not accepted? Because like he's not.
But okay, he doesn't receive the reimbursement from the team. What is stated in Torso? Okay, information here.
Sorry, board, this is kind of facilitating. Eva, point of information.
Eva ITT. Yes, Diogo, unfortunately, even if this is accepted, will not receive team fund because he did not provide his financial information for it. However, if you reject this report, it just won't go into the EPSA archives because it's not an official document then.
Any more questions or comments? Wszyscy gotowi?
Nate, SZSFD Slovenia. So I would just like to say that SZSFD does not want to accept this report as we believe that it does not include anything specific and concrete. We believe that Diogo has been performing very bad and unprofessional in his position and has thus shed very bad on EPSA and has to carry certain consequences. We believe that he only wrote this report to be reimbursed at the end of his mandate. And yeah, General Assembly is the highest decision-making body and should thus strive to bring EPSA forward and to discourage such behavior. With this being said, SZSFD, like I said, is against accepting this report and would like to address the General Assembly to do the same. Thank you.
Apo? Sorry, direct Apo.
Portugal, can you explain better, because he just resigned, so that was the punishment. They acted in a bad way. He didn't work well, so he resigned. That's the punishment. Not accepting this report, I can't understand your point.
Wszyscy będą direct.
It's SZSFD Slovenia. Like, as I said, like if we don't accept this, he would not be reimbursed. Also, he has been asked for the past executive to resign several times. He didn't do it. Then in the end, he had something about 10 or 11 month mandate, and yeah, we just feel that this kind of behavior in EPSA should carry certain consequences, and therefore we do not want to accept this report. Thank you.
Clarification on it?
And in France, I maybe need a clarification on what Eva says, is that anyway he will not get reimbursed. Maybe in France. So I understand both of you, but then in the end I think if your motivation is not for him to be reimbursed, that it won't be the case anyway. And I might think that it might still be useful to have these documents in the archives. It's more for the archive, it's good. And if he's not reimbursed, then the punishment is still there.
First I have Apo with direct and Apo can Apo.
I wanted to ask SZSFD what are the consequences you're talking about, because as we just heard, like the only consequence will be it not being in EPSA archives. So this is nothing personal consequences for your. Like I don't think he cares whether this.
Technical Mihai, EPSA President. So if you feel that the report does not contain everything that you think should be, yeah, as was said, either way, Diogo will not receive team fund. The General Assembly can lay the motion on the table, so the report can be amended with the wishes of the General Assembly. Because the EPSA executive thinks that the activity report as an official document should be stored in the EPSA archives. But the General Assembly feels that the activity report does not contain anything like the information that you want. You can provide the feedback and lay on the table, so Diogo can amend it for the next General Assembly. Anne direct.
Maybe an France. So basically, he will. So we have to say what is not enough in the report. So he writes it again, and then we have again to vote on it. So we can do.
Clarification about.
Marlene, I have a question. Sorry, but what's the difference? Why can't we lay this motion on the table and all the other reports, if you want to amend it, need to be rejected?
information for.
Okay, what I am discussing here is a report of the Vice President of Education. It was what he did between the annual Congress and when he resigned. What needs to be on the content of this report is the facts that he did. So what I would ask you here is for CCCFD present what they think that needs to be amendment on the report, because we are voting on the content of the report itself, not the attitude behind the person on that. We are voting on the content. If for example CCCFD says reads something that it was what not the Vice President did, we want to know what needs to be amended on this for us to be able to talk with the Vice President.
Thank you, Dr. Next time, please name and position. Mihai, Sir President, so just to be more clarified on why the reports are there, all the reports in EPSA are there to showcase what happened as they were. If the General Assembly wants to discuss the attitude or the action of one of the EPSA individuals, that one can happen if the General Assembly wants to add that point in the GA agenda at a point. Right now for this GA, unfortunately, it's not possible, but just this is for you to keep in mind for next General Assemblies. Now I have a open point. Rob.
9.3. Second.
9.3, great, proposed by Classified, seconded by CCCFD. Seconded by Asset. I want the floor for discussion. CCCFD, any point? Rob. I see no one else. So I'm closing the floor for discussion. Anyone against? Anyone paying abstentions? 9.3 carried unanimously. Next, we shall proceed to vote on the motion. So the motion reads as follows. The 15th EPSA General Assembly accepts the EPSA Vice President of Education 2018-2019 activity report. Any votes against? Any votes against? Any abstentions? All those in favor? So we have 19 votes for, 1 against, and 3 abstentions. Motion was carried. New purchase for the
It's CCCFD Slovenia, so can I still say something in regards to the report or not?
The discussion about the report was closed by the General Assembly. Next on the agenda, we have the National Council's report as chairperson of the 42nd National Congress at the reception committee. We are trying to contact her. Technical demo.
I would just like to inform the GA that I will run out for 15 minutes to deliver a speech at RX EPSA, but I'll be back.
So the motion reads, the 15th EPSA General Assembly accepts the chairperson of the 42nd Annual Congress Reception Committee report 2019. I open the floor for discussions. I see none. Do I close the floor for discussion? No. Mihai?
Mihai, President, I just want to thank Tony for all the work that you have done as past EPSA executive member of the team 1819 and for all the work that she and RC did. So thank you, Tony.
Anyone comments or questions? I see none. Behind technical? I close the door for discussion. Thank you. So we shall proceed to the 50th EPSA General Assembly accepts the chairperson of the 42nd Annual Congress Reception Committee Report 2019. All those against? Any abstentions? Motion is carried unanimously. Next on the agenda we have LS reports. Mihai,
President. So this point is here in the agenda for you to discuss if you find anything important in the other LS's reports. I know, like something that should be used as a better knowledge, or I don't know, sharing of good practices, these kind of things, or if you want to address anything regarding the LS reports that were submitted. The LS reports are not official documents, so they will not be used.
Any questions or comments? I see none, so we are moving on to the next one immediately. Next we have EPSA Strategic Plan 2019-2020. Mihai?
Mihai, Mr. President. So I submitted to the GA package the document which showcases the plans of the team 2019-2020 in regards to the strategic plan. So if you have any questions or you want to add something, basically that's the point.
Any questions or comments? I see none. We are Mihai?
Mihai, President, just as a point of information, on the AC20, on the next General Assembly, the team will submit a report on the same structure, so what we achieved based on the strategic plan.
Thank you, Mihai. I see no more questions or comments, so we shall move on with the agenda. Next we have financial matters. The final financial report is the first point. Just to put the technical.
It's just Slovenia. Wouldn't we supposed to discuss the SU report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, we will now take the SU 19 report, and then we will take also the AA 18 discussion, as you wanted to discuss. This is not report, it's discussion, because you mentioned that just for information. So I'll ask Eva.
Eva, chairperson of the Summer University 2019. I don't have any big updates for you. Most of the work was done before the event and on the event itself, and this was all included in the report that was sent to you. Right now we're only finalizing all the payments, and our treasurer is preparing the final financial plan that will be delivered before the next General Assembly. And yeah, I would also like to take this moment to thank for the last time my amazing reception committee and the former and the current EPSA team and everyone that contributed and participated in the last Summer University. Thank you.
Questions or comments for everyone? She's with it.
Nate, for Slovenia, yeah, so we would just also like to thank you, Eva. It has been a pleasure working with you, and we wish you all the best for the future. Thank you.
Any more questions or comments? I see none, so Mihai?
Mihai, Mr. President, I also want to thank you, Eva, and the whole RC on behalf of SETI for the great event that you hosted, and for myself that I was there at Summer University. I really had a great time with you guys. Thank you.
Any more questions or comments? I see none, so next we shall vote on the report. The motion reads as follows. The 15th EPSA General Assembly accepted the chairperson of the 21st EPSA Summer University Reception Committee Report 2019. We open the floor for discussions. Technical Mihai.
I close the proper discussion.
Thank you. Next we shall vote on the motion. The 16th EPSA General Assembly accepts the chairperson of the 21st EPSA Summer University Reception Committee Report 2019. Anyone against? Any abstentions? Motion was carried unanimously. Next, Mihai, what do we have on the agenda? Mihai, technical.
Yeah, Mr. President, so we will now discuss the AA18 as you wanted to propose this point to be discussed.
Okay, we are discussing the Autonomous Assembly of 2018. Ce și să vedem.
Needs Slovenia. So yeah, I would just like to present you the reasons why would we like to address this, because losing voting rights for 4 general assemblies seems a bit strict to some LSs. So we would just like to hear the input of NAPSER, so we can maybe help them and discuss them and discuss this. So yeah, thank you.
Torso states clearly that by not submitting the report on time, this is the action that should be taken. Și să do with the direct.
Needs Slovenia, yeah, but we can overrule it, right? If the General Assembly agrees.
Doar at this point.
Okay, yeah, following the regulations, NAPSA Serbia lose the voting rights for 4 GAs and cannot organize a congress for 2 years as well. If the General Assembly decides that this article of Torso can be overruled, yes, Torso can be overruled.
Technical Camber.
Camber Treasurer, is it possible to PC to reach audit committee because they wanted to be present in the meeting when this topic is on?
Technical Mihai.
Yeah, Mr. President, so as a point of technical point of information, we cannot discuss anything that is in the financial report as well, not submitted on time. So just so you know, the input of the committee is not needed right now because either way we cannot accept comments on the financial report. Thank you.
Next, I have one with the direct.
And then for us to add on what Nate said, basically considering the situations which is quite unexpected and like it's not a normal situation. This is why we would like to also have NAPSER's input on how it is like them with the reception committee, the whole situation, so that the GA can decide how will be the consequences.
That's the point of information.
Milan, NAPSER Serbia. First of all, I would like to thank you all for separating this as a special topic. I would like to thank GA for letting us an opportunity to talk. I'm current president of the NAPSER team 2019, and I was in a previous team because our mandate lasts for 1 calendar year. Therefore, I'm speaking in the name of both teams to you. First, I would like to say that during past years, EPSA really it became really important for us, and I think that our activity and statistics show the best. We have around 7 tweets during the year. The number of people that are participating in EPSA events has increasing constantly. I'm sorry. Also, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit emotional because this is a really sensitive topic for us. I would like to say that first we acknowledge that the financial report is inconsistent and definitely incomplete, but I would have to say that we as an NAPSER team, we have not seen the report before sending to be sent to EPSA or in the GA package. Now understood why. Yesterday we actually found out that it wasn't accepted. I would also like to say regarding this one point that I believe that all the past EPSA team will know that NAPSER team was completely excluded from the organization of EPSA AA. As well as current NAPSER team, we had 0 contact with RC, which prolonged And we also experienced, as well as EPSA team, difficulties to reach Smilka, chairperson of previous EPSA A 2018, during the organization of EPSA A and after it, of course. Personally, current master team, myself as a president, Mina as a former LS, our former president of master team 2018, we had a meeting with Eva, Anya, and previous members of past EPSA team. We were trying to help them to fix this, yet we have to apologize and admit our mistakes. But basically to apologize for our lack of influence for this report to be completely submitted on time. Therefore, we accept our mistakes, and considering that we have, I would like to say that I'm really proud of my association. We have, as you can see, 4 members in executive EPSA team. Therefore, we're very proud of our work. We would like to ask you for overruling this and for letting us time to actually provide us time to fix this. Former NAPSR team, present NAPSR team, and to have a meeting with full RC to resolve our disagreements and to provide complete financial report. Thank you all.
Mira? Before we start, I want to apologize for my previous comment. I misunderstood totally the point of what was going to happen right now.
Hi, I'm Milan. I'm RC member of 2018 AA. I was an IT officer. And I'd just like to confirm that we had a lot of communication problems, not only with NAPSR and RC, but also within the RC. We had difficulty finding out any information about the Congress, and I'd like everybody to consider that personal mistakes and personal, not doing their job, persons not doing their job should not carry so much, such a high, it should just not restrict NAPSR from voting and being a member of, I'm sorry.
Technical Zapper.
Zapper PCM, this is not a logo, so you can't do that.
I'm sorry, just I live asleep, so hard to find the words.
We have speaking rights, so please ask for it. Next, I have a letter from us.
Middle NAPSR Serbia. So in fact, what are we going to do? Tomorrow we are going to propose a motion just to discharge relations and to give us additional 1 or 2 months to finish it. As you heard from Milana, we really believe that Smilka is going to send her report and provide it to EPSA. She in fact provided 2, but incomplete at all. And what exactly we are going to do, NAPSR team, current one and the previous one, together with the counter of NAPSR and together with Smilka in any possible way. We are going to work on that for, as I told you, 1 or 2 months, and just to try to finish it as better as possible. So that's it.
Technical PPSA?
I don't have it because I actually wanted to ask if it would be possible to postpone it to the next GA for them to have time to just get the report.
It depends on whatever motion we will be discussing on tomorrow. Next, I have a new point from Mihai, then I have a new point from Anet Denderna. Mihai Dropanev.
In France, yeah, what I wanted to ask you, started answering to it partially, was how would you make sure that this financial report is delivered if you don't manage to reach out to Smeka?
Direct answer.
Miroslav Napse, Serbian. As I told you, we somehow reached her at the end, and she provided 2 reports. I mean, the first one was incompleted, the second one also is incomplete. So somehow she doesn't answer my messages, even the messages of others, but we know people who are in contact with her, so I think she doesn't know how important and how bad situation is for us, but after this I think that will come to her mind and she will take it so much seriously. As I told you, she provided 2 reports, and I'm sure that she will be also there for us to give us the information, because this NAPSER team and the previous one, as Milena told you, we haven't been involved in every part of the Congress, Autumn Assembly, and we will need her support for her and information wherever. So I think she will cooperate.
Direct answer. Dropped. Next I have a new point from Bernardo. Dropped. Next I have a new point from Studio.
Nate, Shusisifida Slovenia. So could you please give us a little bit more information, like how exactly did you try to reach her, like what measurements have been taken? Thank you.
Direct answer.
Milena Nasser, Serbia. Okay, first at the beginning when we actually realized that there was a problem with her reports, when I was contacted by Eva, I tried to reach her through any social media, any social platform, and eventually she answered, I think because of WhatsApp or someone that we know. We actually contacted other persons that are more close to her, that live next to her or something like that. So they contacted her and told her like to pay attention more to her messages. We had that one meeting internally, like inside of association, where she reassured us that both of her reports will be there until the AC in Sofia. So after that, we also tried to reach her the same way. It's just that we didn't have that much feedback as at the beginning of the year when it came to this reports.
Direct Bernardo.
Bernardo BPA. I just have to say, as the person who was the most in contact not only with NAPSA but also trying to reach Simulka, that NAPSA really did everything in their possibilities to try to reach her out, and they were very responsive to our emails in regards to our requests for the report. It's an unfortunate situation, and yeah, I'm sorry for it.
New point EPSA.
What I did not completely understand in regards to the financial report, and my apologies, because you did mention that considering that the report was not given submitted on time, we are not able to discuss it, although I do wish to express concerns regarding that exact protocol, considering that we are discussing a lot of stuff that are directly related to the contents of the report itself in order to make a proper decision on that. But that was a comment, so if I can just like add another question, that would be okay.
Point of information first, then you can have a new point. Drop new point EPSA.
Yeah, CPSA. And I also did want to ask Nasser, because I did not understand correctly. So you did mention that you did not know the report was not accepted until yesterday. But you did mention contacting SMIC and RC. So actually my question would be, how did the information not reach your LS, for example? Because if I'm right, please do correct me if I'm wrong, that the information about reports and the package and everything, like the LS or ODs should have maybe found out sooner that something was actually not in order. So if I could have just a little bit of clarification on that.
Point of information behind.
Yeah, Mr. President, yes, you cannot discuss anything that's inside the financial report, but as chairperson, I think for now it's okay because you are just discussing the late submission, not the actual content of the report. If you, like, I really please you to not discuss anything inside of it. With the PC, will just drop you if you are going to do it that way because it's against the regulations. Thank you.
Direct answer.
Miroslav Nasser, Serbia. You asked me about contact. I was in constantly contact with Bernardo and Camber also. They told us that the first report won't be accepted, and they sent to Smilka some sheets and I don't know, rules how to write it because the first one was inappropriate for sure. And Smilka sent it maybe 7 days ago, and I got that information that because it was late, they won't even discuss about it. So I was in contact, I knew everything, and I didn't know some special parts about the report and what exactly is not okay.
New point after. Drop. Any more questions or comments on this?
Nate, Slovenia. So I would just like to ask the General Assembly with the motion card to express their opinion with the motion cards on, for example, to give an officer, I don't know.
Technical behind.
Mr. President, it cannot happen because we did not present any motions, so I would ask you to keep those kind of things for tomorrow for the motions. If you are going to ask how they feel about giving Napster more time or anything else, I would ask you to keep it for the motions tomorrow because there was no motion proposed so far. Thank you.
Any more questions or comments? I see none. We are moving on with the agenda. Now we, Mihai,
Hi, Mr. President. So we have kind of 10 minutes left for this GA. I would ask the General Assembly if it's okay to continue with the financial matters because we had all this meeting, we had the online of this meeting, and you already provided some questions and feedback for the financial matters. So the executive feels that most of the questions were answered, so we will be done fast with this point. If that's okay with the General Assembly, I would ask for. Okay, thank you.
Moving on with the financial report. August 28, July 2019. Any questions or comments? I see none. We can move to the next point. Balanced final financial report, August 28, July 2019. Any questions or comments? I see none. Moving on with the next point. The motion reads as follows. Just a second, please. Okay. The 50th EPSA General Assembly accepts the final financial report August 28, July 2019. I will open the floor for discussions. Mihai, technical.
Mihai, Mr. President, I close the floor for discussion.
The 50th EPSA General Assembly accepts the final financial report August 28, July 2019. Anyone against? Any abstentions? Motion carried unanimously. Next we have intermediate financial report of 2019 September 2020. Any questions or comments? I see none. Next we have balance intermediate financial report of 2019 September 2020. Any questions or comments? I see none. The 50th EPSA General Assembly accepts the intermediate financial report of 2019 October 2019. I open the floor for discussions. Mihai, technical.
Mihai, President, as a for discussion.
The 50th EPSA General Assembly accepts the intermediate financial report of 2019 October 2019. Anyone against? Any abstentions? Motion carried unanimously. Next up we have creditors and debtors. Any questions or comments? I see none. Moving on. We have review of membership fees. Any questions or comments? Mihai?
Mr. President. So we discussed this over email. If you have any other comments, yeah, the discussion was over email with me because you know.
Any more questions or comments? I see none. So, Mihai Technical.
Okay, Mihai, Mr. President. So we can now collect the voting cards and finish this General Assembly session.
First, I have Mihai with a new point.
Mihai, President, I wanted to thank the General Assembly because you are efficient today and we reached the agenda. We are on time right now. Yeah, maybe I want to apologize a little bit. Maybe I was a little bit hard on you, but I really want you to pay attention and to take the best decisions for EPSA and for your association.
Go on your point.
Mr. Parliamentarian, please, if you have any problem with the motion, just come to us. The deadline is in 1 hour, so please try to deliver every motion that we need. What?
Marco, your point. Marco, please raise your hand for the...
Marco, VP2. So I would just like to announce what is happening next, so you're all aware. So as you know, for evening attendance, both sessions today are mandatory to be attended, so just to remind delegations as well. Now we are going to have sightseeing. It starts at 3, so please do remind your delegations to be in front of the hotel, and they will also receive guides. Further, lunch boxes will be prepared, so they can be picked between 2 and 3, because there is no lunch at the restaurant, so you're all aware. However, we're having dinner in the evening normally between 7 and 9. Also at 9, please be outside your apartments because there will be like a warm up. But later at 11, we're all going to a club, Cocoa Club. So, and because it is Croatia night tonight, please do wear t-shirts if you're having them for the Congress. And for tomorrow, bear in mind also to remind delegations that all 3 sessions are mandatory to be attended in order to attend gala in the evening. And yeah, I believe that that would be all from my side in terms of logistics.
New point should just include.
It's just Slovenia, so I would just like to provide a positive feedback to the PC, and exactly I really like how every procedures are being explained, like because this is something I was missing during the last GA, so yeah, thank you for that.
Mina, new point. Joe, Kander, new point. CPSA, new point.
Yeah, on the CPSA, you did mention that the deadline for the motion was in 1 hour, if I understood correctly. So I don't know if I am able to ask a question that, is there any, I don't know if you can provide information, is there any motion being submitted up until this point regarding the situation that we just discussed with NAPSA and actually just hold on to it, or you cannot provide that information?
Go ahead, Derek.
Okay, I was approached to have one motion regarding this with the people that approached me. It was Nasser and Anel. The content itself I cannot say.
Name and position please next time, Mihai.
Mihai, Mr. President. As tomorrow we are having the changes of the regulations and of the handbooks, I'm still asking the General Assembly of the official delegates if you still have any questions regarding those to approach me or PC. Yeah, for the changes approach me for PC. If there's something unclear about the regulation, you can ask them. So we can finish the whole GA in time and we do not go into emergency GA and we will arrive on time.
Any more questions or comments? Kander?
I'm a treasurer. We are having a merge sale just outside of this door. Please just one.